Hey, remember the Sony X95K Blob issue?
No! No!
I have some amazing news. Sony came out with a firmware update on the X95K that fixes the blob issue. What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Max and today I'm going to be covering the latest firmware update from Sony. Back in November in 2022, Sony came out with a firmware update that severely messed up the X95K, where you see a local dimming issue where you see a huge blob on the screen. This is something that everyone who owns the X95K will run into the same experience. So I created multiple service tickets, and I even had some of the X95K owners open service tickets to try to get this issue resolved. Sony didn't acknowledge that it was an issue, so I went ahead and put out a video for a local dimming issue that shows the blob on the Sony X95K. After a few months, Sony finally went ahead and released a firmware update that fixes the blob issue. After the firmware update, I am happy to report that the newest firmware update fixes the local dimming issue where you do not see that blob whatsoever. So you can see on my screen right now, there is no issue. Now, when I originally came out with the local dimming issue for the Sony X95K, I had a lot of comments that people were saying that I just had a defective panel and that I purchased this and didn't do a good job as in looking or reviewing to see if there's any defects to the Sony X95K. What I found it kind of interesting is that on the AVS forum, I wasn't the only one that was going through the same issue, especially having it at the same exact spot that other people were having. So for me, coming from my background, knowing a lot when it comes to software, I knew this was going to be a software issue that was on Sony's side. Even though Sony didn't want to admit it, they ended up fixing it with the latest firmware update. Now you can see right now in some of the videos and even the gaming that I'm showing right now, you can see that everything is completely fixed. But I just want to put that awareness out there for everyone just to know that if they're thinking about getting the Sony X95K, the local dimming bug is fixed with the latest firmware update. And if you really want to get this TV, I say go ahead and go for it. Now, my suggestion was the 85-inch. I think that TV on its own is a highly recommended TV for me since Sony has fixed this issue, which is a great thing. So they did listen, even though they don't want to say or acknowledge that it was the issue to begin with. But at the same time, too, I'm glad that they are able to fix issues like this. So besides the local dimming issue that I was running with the Sony X95K, I didn't see any other issues with the TV, and that is a great thing. Everything just seems to be working as expected. You can see that I have some gameplay footage with everything is working. No disabling of local dimming when I'm playing games, and even when I'm watching content, it looks just as good as it was before. And I don't know if this might be the placebo effect, but I noticed that when it comes to blacks, I know that noticed it to be better. I don't know if Sony did some updates to the local dimming algorithm, but that's just something that I just observed. As in brightness wise, the brightness looks the same as it was previously. But other than that, no other issues, no sound dropouts or eARC issues with the latest firmware update. So I'm happy to report that 4K 120 played just as good as it was before. So that's something that I just want to throw out to everyone. But I'm about to go ahead and end this video. If you could do me a favor by hitting that like button and that subscribe button, I greatly appreciate it. Until next time, I'll see everyone on the next video. Take care. Bye.